please excuse me, I'm extremely sick. I wasn't able to get an extension, so we will just have to muddle through this together and hope that it somehow comes out in some logical sequence, because my critical thinking is barely existent at the moment. Okay, so my two teaching strategies that I have chosen are inquiry-based learning and critical thinking strategy. Both strategies chosen, I believe, are intertwined and allows the teacher to encourage the individual student to recall and on their own personal prior knowledge and experiences. It is endorsed by highly regarded men such as John Dewey and Martin Wagenschein. Wagenschein believes that all students should not be taught bald facts, but should understand and explain what they are learning. Now, I agree with this wholeheartedly. The teacher, by also introducing critical thinking strategies to students, enabling them to fully interpret and evaluate any cognitive thoughts that go into completing IBL tasks. So what do I feel are the key features of each chosen strategy? Well, IBL allows the students to process the questions posed to them and then go on to create questions of their own, which either confirm or deny their forming knowledge of the original question. IBL is a problem-solving strategy and one that quite easily incorporates CTS, guiding the student to evaluate and problem-solve. Bayer in 1995 establishes critical thinking as a means to making clear, reasoned judgments. Critical thinking is about being able to make reasonable and well thought out judgments of required tasks. Critical thinking strategy and IBL students are encouraged to seek out further confirmation of their own ideas by collecting evidence from different sources that explain and support their knowledge. If IBL is about searching for evidence to solve a problem, then critical thinking strategy is helping to find a reasonable and reflective way to complete the IBL task. Do I think the learning context of each strategy is identified as being appropriate within a class setting? Absolutely. IBL strategy, using the IBL strategy, the teacher is able to go through the 4 levels of the IBL and integrate phases into the classroom, much the same as you would any other strategy to reach goals and objectives. The 4 levels are level 1, which is confirmation of inquiry, which you are in confirming and concreting already known knowledge. Level 2 is structured inquiry. They're still relying on level 1 for background knowledge, but this is now starting to introduce critical thinking. They're starting to think about re-evaluating, reassessing, recalling. Okay, so we're finding sources to explain and analyse, and this also allows the students to reach new and growing explanations with some support from myself, helping them with CLT strategies. Level 3 is guided inquiry. They are now going and researching using their critical thinking strategies. They're now going to research and come up with evidence and conclusions for themselves by a question that I pose. And level 4, which is open or true inquiry, is when they reach metacognition, and it is where they are now able, through the use of inquiry-based learning and critical thinking, to incorporate the two together, and they are now able to pose their own questions and go on with their own form of finding out the information and conclusions. Do I have any examples of impact on the students' learning outcomes? Yes, IBL has actually been proved that if it's introduced at an earlier stage, such as primary school, it benefits the student in future learning. Bloom's taxonomy acknowledges that being able to analyse, synthesise and evaluate information or new understandings indicates a high level of thinking. By using IBL, this is able to be achieved by the student. Critical thinking may not be mentioned in this particular section, but it is obvious to myself and to you as a panel that critical thinking is now just synonymous with IBL. Do these two chosen strategies contribute to an enhanced affecting teaching practice? Absolutely. You are allowing the child to become motivated and engaged, not just by myself, but from other students and from their own experiences. Using IBL allows the students now to use personal life experiences and compare and critique the questions that are posed to them. Making sense of an unknown question by comparison is an encouraging way of moving forward within a lesson, and IBL endorses this. This is where critical thinking becomes entwined, and both strategies are extremely working well together, forming a student who has strong skills in evaluation, interpretation, methodology, judgment, and accuracy at displaying and recording the information. Yet the most positive aspect of IBL and CTS combining is that they will be able to produce a student in the future that is enriched and has become a higher order thinker just through the natural course of IBL and critical thinking strategies. Thank you.